Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After a brief hiatus, we are back. You're watching Original Art Hour Beyond with myself, Comic Books NYC, and my good buddy Tony NYC Jr. What's up, Tone? Good to see you, brother. I'm glad we're doing this. We're back. I'm rested. I'm relaxed. How you doing?
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen you, man.
Well, I'm not counting last night's spur of the, or what was it? It wasn't really at night. It wasn't, but we did a show last night. Or last afternoon, if you will, more of a comic book show, which if you missed, you could catch on the rewind. But that was a fun one. I showed a lot of banger books, so enjoy that. Yeah. But thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hanging out 2 nights in a row, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good.
Always good to see you, brother. So we're gonna dive right in here. We got a pretty packed show. We have a little bit of news. We got a little bit of show and tell. And we've got a whole bunch of auction scene coverage going on. Most specifically, we're going to be going over the ComicLink Spring Featured Auction results, or as many of them as we can get to. I pulled 30 specifically for the show, and some, I have a folder of like 65 more results if we really need to, but I have a feeling, we will barely get through 30. But that's kind of the menu for the show tonight. But before we get started, we're going to have a quick hello here to the chat. We had Gorilla Todd hanging out. What's up, Gorilla Todd in the house?
What's up, Gorilla?
We got J Salsa 23. How come my comments are smaller than they usually are? Did I change something by accident? What's going on here?
You're the mastermind here.
Yeah, well, I guess it looks good like that in the square. We got Magic Lasso. What's up, Magic Lasso in the house? We got Oregon Weem in the house. Coming to us from the West Coast. Who else we got in here? We have, did I say hi to J Salsa? J Salsa 23. Yes. What's up? We got Unruly Simeon in the house. Good to see you, Unruly. We got D-Ron Comics, my boy George. We got my boy Ruben the Collector. What's up, Ruben? Good to see you, man. We got Raul, my good buddy. Good to see you, brother. He says evening killers. Yeah, right. What's with these small comments? I feel like StreamYard just changed something, man, like on me. But maybe I messed up like a setting or something that I'm not familiar with. But hey, I'm not
getting older,
right? Yeah, maybe I'm not going to troubleshoot this in real time. I think at least I can read the comments on the screen, so I'll count myself lucky on that. So we're going to start as we usually do with a little bit of news here. Just one kind of big news story dropped, I would say, especially as it relates to the New York area. This week. Let me do a screen share. I did pull up an article here real quick, and that is this one. I don't know if you can see it. There we go. So ReedPop finally, and I'll go full screen here so you guys can see the whole article. ReedPop finally announced the NYCC 2021 ticket sale, I guess, instructions, and that tickets are going to be going on sale to NYCC in July with some caveats, meaning that there will be ways to buy tickets or badges early this year by buying like a special membership called the Metaverse membership, where they have 2 different tiers. They have a fan tier, $65 a year, and a super fan tier, $99 a year. And the super fan tier for $99 gives you exclusive access to a pre-sale before anybody else for live event tickets to not only NYCC, but Emerald City Comic Con, C2E2 in Chicago. So pretty much all the big ReedPop comic conventions going on in the United States that they run. So I don't know, $99 for the chance to get badges before anybody else. It is tempting. That said, they haven't announced the specific date that these special memberships go on sale. If you were verified for NYCC in previous years, 2019, then tickets will be going on sale Sunday, July 11th, 2021 at 10 a.m. Eastern. So that's kind of the first time they're going a little bit wider than this new premium membership opportunity. So it's a little bit of an interesting change in strategy in ReedPop, but you also have to keep in mind that attendance is going to be limited this year for these events, so less overall capacity. and no 4-day badges. So nobody can buy a 4-day pass to go to the whole convention, which is interesting because I always go to the whole convention pretty much every time. Yeah, every time I've ever gone, I've gone for the whole thing. Now, this might be one of those years where it's like, you know what, maybe I'll only go for 1 or 2 days because, less people, more competition to get the badges, more of a complicated process to get the badges based on what I'm reading here. And some people are calling it a money grab. Okay, the comments look good. Okay, I don't know why I was freaking out so much about the comments, but yeah, I mean, look, you could argue that it's a money grab, but we'll see how it goes. I'm curious to know how many of these fan memberships they're going to sell, because they didn't say that they're selling an unlimited amount of these fan memberships. Right. So the amount of fan memberships is going to be cut off at some point, because otherwise,
$100. So it's
because otherwise,
for
anybody who wants to guarantee themselves a badge will get the fan membership just so they can get access to the early badge on sale. The early tickets. So I don't know.
But that's just basically, is that for 1 day then? Because if they're not doing a 4-day.
Well, you can buy badges for multiple days still. Like you can buy a Thursday badge and a Saturday badge, or a Friday badge and a Saturday badge, or whatever, for yourself. You just can't buy one badge at a discounted rate that covers the whole 4 days. 4 days. Because they're trying to give more people more opportunities to score a badge, I guess, because they're going to be limited capacity. I don't think they've announced specifically how limited it's going to be. So I don't know. That all remains to be seen. But since we've been covering kind of the local convention and comic and art show scene on this news segment so far, I figured that this was worth mentioning, because it's not only big for the East Coast, but it's big for comic book convention fans that all over the country that are interested in traveling to New York for the show. And because Reed Pop hosts so many of these other big conventions, C2E2 and Emerald, especially, that I would imagine they're going to use this same kind of approach at some of these other cities, or take what they do in New York and apply them to the other cities. I don't know, but definitely worth calling out, and that's what we just did. So let's move on. Let's move on to the show and tell portion of the program. So Tony and I both have pulled 3 pieces to share for today. I have pulled three Batman bangers. I would say all Batman related pieces, but we both also pulled a sketch cover and then 2 regular pieces to share tonight. So we got one comment here from Jay Salsa saying the membership sounds good, but it will depend on how many are sold. Exactly, right. I'm very curious to see what that cap is as far as how many they sell, but I don't think that information has been revealed publicly yet, or if they will reveal it at all, frankly. You know what I mean? So I don't know. But all right, let's go on to the show and tell portion. Let's start with Tony and your sketch cover.
All right. I picked this up in Strictly's Comics. Was it an auction for charity benefits like a year and a half ago?
Oh, not Hero Initiative?
Yeah. Yes.
That's Clayton Crane?
Clayton Crane. The whole sketch.
Dude, his artwork has really gone up in price. Yeah, some Crane. Very nice, butter. So did he color that in Copics? Like markers? Yeah.
Yeah, markers and everything else. He did the whole thing.
Awesome, dude. Yeah, that's a nice pickup.
Yeah.
You picked it up at a good time. Like, I don't know what you paid, but you picked it up at a good time.
Yeah.
Because it probably is worth more now, imagine. Very nice. Okay. My sketch cover is, I guess I've already shown it technically once yesterday on the comic book show that I mentioned. But, I'm so happy to have this that it's worth showing 2 nights in a row. So this is my first Batman banger. It's a Dark Knight Batman sketch by Frank Miller and Klaus Janson on an All-Star Batman sketch. So a result of the CGC signings that Frank and Klaus Janson did last year during the pandemic. I also got a copy of the Dark Knight #1 CGC signature series signed by the two of them. But yeah, as I said yesterday on the show, I'm just kind of blown away that I finally have a Frank Miller illustrated Batman, Dark Knight Batman piece in my collection. So yeah, once again, for the first time ever, here it is. So I'm just super happy with it. What's up, Comic Mag Musings in the house? Bill, good to see you, brother. Ruben's asking where you got that. It was at you said Strictly Comics' Hero Initiative auction on YouTube
about a year and a half ago. Yeah,
right.
They were before COVID. I think he had one before COVID.
Yeah, so Ruben, there's a channel called Strictly Comics, which is a guy we all know in the YouTube comic community here, and he does a lot of comic book auctions on his channel. I think he does one every Sunday night, but every once in a while he'll do a charity auction as well. So I think that's where that.
Yeah, he does it on Thursday and Sundays.
Thursdays and Sundays. So Edwin, right? Strictly
Edwin, yes.
Yeah,
Edwin.
Good guy, good guy. Okay, so we are gonna move to Tony's first regular piece. Oh yeah, well, more of a, I guess, a collector dealer, I guess you could call him.
Crean donated it for the Hero Initiative. He donated the piece.
So he donated it to the auction.
Yeah, he donated. He created the whole thing and he donated it so to get money for the auction for the Hero Initiative.
Hero Initiative, yeah. Okay, let's. I'm trying to pull up your first scanned piece. It's this one. It's Ice Cream Man piece.
Yeah, I picked this up recently. It was Ice Cream Man. I like the Ice Cream Man.
Who's the artist on the Ice Cream Man?
Marzello. Can't pronounce his name. Yeah.
Marzello,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nice. And this is like an anthology series, right? Like a horror series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nice. Did you want to show the actual page or you just scan?
I think that's basically it. I don't have it in the other room actually.
All right, no worries.
Yeah.
What's up? We got Simple Simon in the house, all the way from Australia. What's going on, brother? What time is it there? I never know the time differences. Thanks for popping in here. Appreciate you. All right, so let me move on from this to my first scan piece. This is another Batman piece. What's going on? We got Bearded Comic Bro Greg in the house. Good to see you, Greg. We got Tats Comics in the house. What's up? Okay, it's 1 p.m. over there. Down under. All right, I didn't say that right that time. Anyway, here's my first scan piece. This is a Simon Bisley Batman illustration, which I really like this one. This is about 12 by 16, I believe. So pretty, full size illustration, cover size illustration, if you will. And I just love this image of Batman here. This, the dark stare, the more of the, kind of dated bat symbol a little bit, but the cowl, the over exaggerated cape matching the cowl and everything. I just love this piece.
It's really nice.
And this is a piece I picked up on one of those lower key ComicLink auctions like a few months ago, I believe. Not like one of their big deal auctions, but one of their, I guess, I don't know, focused, I guess, auctions is what they call it. So that's where I picked this up. And yeah, it is the full-on piece. And I scored it for I think like $280 or something like that. So
very nice.
So I'm happy to share the price on that, which I thought was great because it's a full size. It's like a 12 by 16 piece. So so I was really happy with that, and I kind of thought I got a fair deal on it. I don't know how much Simon Bisley charges for commissions or illustrations these days, or if that's even easy to accommodate. But I'm happy with this piece. As I continue to add on to my Batman collection. What's up, JoJo? Flicks and Comics in the house. Good to see you. She loves this one. Thank you. So yeah, man, I'm happy with that one quite a bit. Really, really dig that one. Dirt. So I pretty much trust Ruben on anything original art. He's like my original art guru right now these days. So he's saying it's dirt cheap. He hopes it's a Bisley and not a Risley. Yeah. Well, if it was a Risley, I think I would have to take that up with ComicLink and write them a strongly worded letter. But no, it's Simon Bisley. So that's my first Bisley piece. I actually have another Bisley piece that's a published page, but I haven't shown it yet, and so that'll be for a future episode at some point. Not a Batman piece though, so that's my only Biz Bats in the collection, and I really, really like it. So
nice.
Thank you, brother. All right, so this is Tony's second or third piece, rather, if you count the sketch cover. This is a Moon Knight page.
Yeah, it's Moon Knight 44 from 1992. Artworks by Gary Kapowski, Kwapizz. I cannot pronounce that.
I'm really bad pronouncing last names. Also, yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, this Simon Risley guy might need an agent soon, so we'll see. I don't know if there really is a guy named Simon Risley out there that's an artist. I apologize in advance for these jokes. Yeah, yeah, I can't say that name.
Kapowski. Yeah, that's it. I can't pronounce it.
Yeah, that bottom panel is pretty badass.
Yeah.
Nice pick.
Yeah, especially from 1992. You think about it, it's like
90s art, man. Yeah. 90s art.
Can't beat it.
Getting more popular and more difficult to own. So, very nice, very nice. Well, that's a great trifecta from Tony tonight. Appreciate you sharing your artwork with the show and the community as always. This is my last piece for tonight. Ruben's trying to represent Simon Risley already.
Risley.
He's gonna do a Simon Risley facsimile piece for JoJo. All right, so this is my last piece for show and tell portion for this episode. Another Batman banger. That's all I brought to the table. Before I show the piece, some of you may have caught the 31st episode of Original Art Hour with a collector named Andy E. So he's actually the last collector I did a full one-on-one interview with on the channel. He showed this piece because it was part of his collection. And then a few weeks after appearing on the program, he hit me up and said that he was trying to go after a really, really big piece. That piece ended up being the Thor #1 cover by Olivier Coipel. You might have to correct my French, Ruben. But I think that's how you say it, Coipel, right? I don't know. But anyway, that's a really, really awesome cover. And he did pick up that big Thor cover by Coipel. And but he had to move a few pieces to help him. And
right.
This is one of the pieces that he showed that I really, really loved. And I didn't have a Declan Shalvey piece in my collection yet. And I didn't have one of those like crazy full extended cape and cowl style Batman covers. And this pretty much fit exactly what I was looking for from both of those kind of things that I want in my collection. And so here's the piece. This is
that's gorgeous.
This is the cover for All-Star Batman #5. There you see the full cover on the left-hand side there and a zoomed in shot of Batman from the cover here. Just really, really amazing work by Declan Shalvey. He's one of my favorite modern guys out there working today. But man, I love this cover so much. Yeah. Thank you, Lasso. Yeah, this is a killer cover. Thank you guys. Yeah, Ruben, this is my cover now. This is in my collection.
That's why I can't find any nice Batmans out there. You know, you take them all.
I'm trying to corner the market on modern Batman before those artists blow up. I suppose maybe
That's
I don't
beautiful.
know.
That's beautiful.
But yeah, I mean, this is a badass cover. I mean, just it's like a puzzle piece. You know, it's like a giant puzzle piece in a way. But it's so epic, and he just looks so imposing on it. But man, I'm really happy with this cover. So shout out to Andy E. Thank you, brother, for doing a deal on this with me. He did time payments with me, so I didn't have to pay it up front. So I did it in a couple payments, and I was able to help him get an amazing Coipel Thor cover for his collection, and he was able to help me get an amazing Declan Batman cover for my collection. So it was a perfect. I mean, he needed to sell other pieces to get his Coipel cover. Like, this wasn't going to cover that whole transaction on his end, but I helped him get there. So I'm pretty happy about both sides of that deal and how that worked out. Yeah, Declan is awesome, dude. Declan is awesome. But that'll be my Declan example for now. I don't know how deep I'll go with getting more Declan, because I'm more of a single example per artist collector with minor exceptions. But yeah, man, I'm happy with that one quite a bit. I really, really do enjoy that one. So yeah, man, collectors helping other collectors. That's definitely what the art hobby is great about doing. So that was especially the fact that I was able to have him on the show and then work that out with him and develop that trust, which is pretty cool. So, all right, we're going to move on. The rest of the show, we're going to focus on the auction scene. And like I said up top, we've got, I think we pulled about 30 pieces from the spring ComicLink featured auction, which was just a gnarly auction. Probably the craziest ComicLink auction that I've ever witnessed live, following the results all night, every single one.
Yeah, it's like, I want this one, I want that one, I want this one, I want them all.
I could barely keep track of what I wanted, and what I was thinking about going after, and it was, I couldn't, it was hard to concentrate. But I think I ended up taking 95 screenshots of auction results, and like I was chatting with Tony, like, man, I got to narrow these 95 auction results down to like 25 or 30 for the show. That's going to be a challenge. And I frankly, I don't know if I did the greatest job of it. Like, I just did my best, because there's so many pieces that closed in that were incredibly amazing. But let's dive in. We picked 30 pieces. Well, I picked 30 pieces. I'm sure if Tony was doing it in his own, we would have came up with differences, but we didn't have time to like coordinate our picks. What's up, JP in the house? JP's Budget Collecting. What's going on? So let's get to the results here. So I'm going to share the screen again. Let's go with the. Hold on, I'm trying to get this. Wait, I gotta get this app up on the screen here. All right, let me know when you can see this on the screen, Tone.
See it.
All right, I'm gonna go full screen.
I love this piece.
Let me hide this sidebar thing as well. See if I can get. So are we full screen with the art now, or with the results?
Yes, we're good.
All right, so this is. Oh wait, I didn't realize I could move the window. Let me. Can I go full screen like that? Is that even better?
Yeah, you can see the whole thing there.
All right. Well, I just want to make sure I can switch back and forth. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Perfect. All right. Well, I mean, this is kind of the no-brainer result to talk about real quick from this auction, because I mean, I think it raised a lot of eyebrows. I mean, it's a fantastic battle page with Punisher versus Wolverine from Punisher War Journal #7. They're calling it an epic key issue, which I don't know, maybe, but I think the image here is insane. It's large art, 109 bids, closing at $73,000. This was the highest result. Jim Lee, of course. Wow, right?
It's beautiful.
It's an awesome page. The Jim Lee market just continues to kind of astound me in many ways. And I think
I remember picking up the comic book when it first came out. I mean, I didn't know who Jim Lee was, but I saw the cover on those and I was like, it's beautiful, you know?
I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy, but I mean, it's just about as awesome of a battle page that I've seen out there from this era. Wolverine, obviously, super hot. Wolverine / X-Men, but especially Wolverine within it. Man. Oh, nice. Raul's got a art class with Carl Potts, the inker, starting tomorrow. Wow. That's awesome. You should talk to him about this result and tell me what he says. Oh, that's crazy. All right, well, let's just move on. Second, wow, this is not working.
So I would have picked this. So this one I would have picked.
You would have picked this, right?
Yes.
Well, here's the other page from that.
That's beautiful too.
Punisher Work Journal number 11, page 2, title splash. This one was inked by Klaus Janson over Jim Lee. This is a twice up Punisher. The great image of the Punisher.
Yes.
It's almost like a Stan Lee signed it there in the bottom as well, which I noticed, which
really
kind of weird to me, frankly.
Okay, yeah, I kind of see that.
You know, I just find that weird because I'm sure he didn't write this issue, you know, but whatever, you know, really cool splash page, more in line with the pricing I would expect, I guess, $24,000, but I'm not an expert on the Jim Lee market, but
I think because you had Wolverine in the other one, it's like,
yeah, it was a Wolverine versus Punisher battle.
Right.
3/4 splash, essentially. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, exactly. Stan signed anything that people put in front of him. It's just what did the people put in front of him is the thing.
Prices he charged in the end. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. Like pretty much a lot of people took their entire collection to Stan and got him to sign it, whether it was art or books at various points. Just as long as it had anything to do with Marvel whatsoever, right? Even if Stan had nothing to do with creating that character, writing that title, there's a lot of stuff out there signed by Stan. But anyway, yeah, another crazy page, another thing that's completely outside of my wheelhouse as far as being able to go after it. I still do not have a Jim Lee example in my collection, and I'm still looking for one that I can afford that I also enjoy the artwork. So those two things have not yet aligned for me quite yet, but I'm sure it will eventually, you know. We'll see. Next up we got
Watch.
You know, this is a big one. And don't be fooled by the you have been outbid on this item. I bid on this item so I could track it way at the beginning. Like I think I was the high bidder on this when it was at like $5,000 on day one. You know, it says I've been outbid on this. Yeah, I've been outbid on this item by quite a bit.
Come on, you could say I bid $70,000 and I lost.
I bid $70K and I was the underbidder. No, that's not the case. I can't play with these kind of big boy sharks on these Watchmen pieces, but this is a huge piece. Dave Gibbons, of course. Not a cover, although it appears like a cover.
It's not.
It's not a cover. No,
it's an ad.
It appears like a cover, but it's been published. It's been published in a lot of books because DC used it as an ad. So it was a Watchmen house ad from back in the day, 1986, and obviously it features Ozymandias on it, and on the TV screens in the image. There's the phrase "Who watches the Watchmen," which is a very kind of famous phrase from Watchmen, you know. Yes. But this had a lot of elements, and Watchmen art is you know it's become one of those like grails in the hobby for collectors to have published Watchmen art. Yeah, it is an ad. It is an ad, but a published ad. It was all over the place supposedly during the era. Unruly, you probably have a better gauge on that than I do, since in 1986 I was 2 years old. Ruben, I totally thought I was gonna be the top dog on this at 5K.
Imagine if you lost it at 6,000.
Don't even put those kind of thoughts into my head. just don't do it. This is crazy. But Watchmen is Watchmen.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
that's small.
Yeah. So I don't know why this isn't displaying full screen like the other ones. Maybe it's the ratio of the screenshot or something. But regardless, this is a ASM 327 page from Eric Larson, inked by Al Gordon, 1989. The splash page. This one closed at $48,300, which is really strong. It's a Spider-Man versus Magneto battle page. It's a very strong page. I believe Eric Larson ASM art has been just escalating. Like, things have escalated quickly with his ASM stuff. Like, behind McFarlane. I mean, you could argue it's even above McFarlane. It's on the level of McFarlane or just under, as far as the market right now, I guess. And it's crazy to me, but what are you gonna do, man? So Eric Larson has been added to the list of like Spider-Man artists that's not attainable for, your average collector, I guess. It's big boy stuff now. It's awesome stuff. I love that era of Spider-Man, of ASM. Yeah. From McFarlane to Larson to Bagley. I mean, that's like the 90s, but pretty strong prices for this kind of stuff happening these days. So that's where we are, man. All right, here, maybe I don't know, like, can I make this smaller to match? Yeah, that looks better, right?
Yes,
that looks better. I don't know why that
can you make it bigger though, like the other one? I mean, without getting rid of the original art hour.
No, I don't know. I don't know why I can't do that, but I guess this is better than it was before, right? Or maybe I could zoom in like that. Does that work?
Okay. Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, I think that's better.
You see
anyway, we've got John Byrne X-Men here. Yeah, right. I'm hoping next up is Mark Bagley on the appreciation, but I'm also kind of not hoping, because I want to pick up a few more pieces before Mark Bagley gets out of reach. At least just selfishly, I would love that. Simon R, what's going on, brother? Good to see you, man. Thank you for popping in. So this is an X-Men 138 page during the Jean Grey's funeral. So it's a key storyline, key moment in the Byrne Austin run. 90 bidders, $39,000. Yeah, I know, right? But look, this is kind of the range that a lot of these Byrne pages from like Dark Phoenix storyline and kind of closely associated stories. This is Jean Grey's funeral. So I don't think this is really a surprising result or anything. I think this is a pretty much a market result or healthy result for this, in my opinion. My opinion being only worth so much. But maybe Ruben can back me up on this. I don't know. But John Byrne X-Men has been hot for a while and remains hot. And this is a $39,000 John Byrne X-Men page right here from 1980. So
that's Alpha Flight, right? I can't really see it, so small. Is Wolverine in there?
It's hard to see. You're right. I don't see Wolverine on there.
So then, if you throw in Wolverine, you're throwing in like another $10,000 or not?
Yeah, maybe. I see where John Byrne's signature is next to Summers, right. but and then I see the Stan Lee sig there again, snuck in there for some reason. I don't know. That's kind of hard to see, but it's right underneath that panel.
Is it Sasquatch?
Yeah, possibly. Right? Yeah, that does look like Sasquatch, so that must be Alpha Flight, right? But man, these pages are getting out of reach again. Or they've been out of reach for a while. They've been out of reach for a while. So Ruben's saying that it was pricey for the content quality level. Okay, I think that makes sense. Yeah, I think that makes sense. But I mean, I'm so used to seeing the numbers 30 followed by 3 more zeros next to John Byrne and X-Men right now. So that's where my head's at, but it's nothing I would ever be going after. It's just fun to kind of watch it and see where these kind of pieces land. Okay, next up we have another X-Men page, but this one's a Jim Lee. This is Uncanny X-Men 277, page 22, $47,000.
Deal, like you said, drawing Wolverine, another $10,000 to the page.
Yeah, so yeah, you got multiple Wolverine shots in this one.
Mm-hmm.
You got him shanking somebody in the back here. Yeah, I mean, well, it's Wolverine versus Storm, so that is kind of big, I guess, from a battle perspective standpoint. But man, Jim Lee X-Men is from the 90s is eclipsing John Byrne X-Men from the 80s, right? Which is man, things have escalated.
Jim Lee.
Things have escalated quickly. Ruben's saying that this one sold for $17,000 last year, so that's that's a $30,000 return for whoever this seller was. I suppose then, if it was the same person, I don't know, but man, this one's making me take a sip before I move on, man. Got to clear my throat after I talk about that one. Wow. What's up? Comic Book 1962 in the house. Good to see you, brother. Thanks for being here live. But I appreciate all the rewind watching, so never apologize or feel bad about missing me live. I appreciate anybody who supports my content in any way, whether you watch for 2 minutes or 2 hours. Okay, moving on. I thought this one was really awesome to follow because I was super curious. Jim Lee again. There was a lot of Jim Lee artwork in this auction, by the way. There was a good amount of it. Yes. But what makes this page important is that on that very last bottom panel on the bottom right, that is the very first panel appearance ever of Hush. So that is the first appearance. That is the first appearance of Hush from Batman 609, which is the second issue of the Jeff Loeb, Jim Lee, Hush story arc in Batman, which is one of the most popular Batman stories now. Many years removed now. It's kind of become even more popular over time. And this one sold for $31,000 and $1. So did somebody win that by $1? It was the underbidder at 31 and the other person was at some amount above that, and that's where the dollar was. I mean, I would imagine
these aren't like the comic book auctions where you can win $1. I think you had to be like $100 at least or something.
Right. But regardless, pretty strong price. Like just based on the art alone, I wouldn't imagine this to be a $31,000 page, but it's a key. It's a key first panel appearance of a big character, or an arguably big character, but a big storyline in Batman, and the character that entire run of Batman issues was named after.
He's a big Batman villain, so I mean, it's gonna go up.
Totally. So a pretty strong result there. All right, moving on. I don't know if I'm going quick enough here on this or not. But we'll get through at least these 30 results.
Come on, why Monica Rambeau? Come on.
Come on, Tony, don't give me that crap. All right, so this result is interesting to me for a number of different reasons. Obviously, I am an owner of a page from this issue, ASM Annual number 16. This is page 34 from the first appearance issue of Monica Rambeau, who was debuting as the brand new, all different Captain Marvel at the time. On this page, she's meeting the Thing for the first time, and she's in costume. So I think those are key things to point out. It's a John Romita Jr. Penciled and John Romita Sr. Inked. So it's a junior, senior, father-son team-up page, which is one of the reasons I love the issue. I've been investing in the issue from the comic book side as well, specking a little bit. But I picked up one of the pages from this issue earlier in the year,
Nice.
and I paid not almost $13,000 for it, though. I can tell you that, because mine was a kind of a back, behind closed doors find/deal with the assist to my buddy Jimmy the Geek Aficionado out in the Chicago burbs, and us working on that deal when we located it. But and that was during the throes of like WandaVision being on TV and stuff, which is kind of crazy. But in hindsight, this result makes me feel way better about picking up that page. I already felt great about picking up that page, but this kind of validates that for me a little bit, and also kind of shows to you the popularity of this character right now and the potential future popularity of this character, as she's going to be appearing in the next Captain Marvel movie as like a co-lead, or one of the leads, under Carol Danvers, presumably. But very interesting to follow these results. I'm very curious to see if more pages from this issue emerge into the marketplace over the next 12 to 16 months or so. So we shall keep track of that. Next up, we have a page from another key storyline page. This is a Mike Zeck page, inked by Bob McLeod. 1987. This is from, of course, Kraven's Last Hunt storyline, which is probably the most popular storyline from Spidey during this era that like remains very, very popular to this day. And from an artwork standpoint, is highly sought after by other collectors. This one closed at $19,015 with 82 bidders. Black Suit Spidey, Mike Zeck, Kraven's Last Hunt. Cool page. It's kind of just him like, with a bunch of water. That's kind of the page. But key storyline. I can't tell whether this is a strong result or not. It feels like a strong result. It's from the Spectacular Spider-Man title, not ASM, because Kraven's Last Hunt went across multiple titles.
Yeah, the Web, Spectacular, and Amazing.
Yeah, went across ASM, Web, and Spectacular. But 19,000, man, that's what it takes right now to get on the open market to get a Kraven's Last Hunt page. Ruben's saying that this Zeck page was 3,500 10 years ago. Honestly, but that's 10 years ago, right? The art market has come so far in a decade. 3,500 kind of seems expensive for 10 years ago. Hearing that,
you think about it 10 years later now, like 2020, like 32, 31 to be what, 40,000?
Yeah, I mean, so we got a question here is from Comic Book Night 62 saying, overall, are you seeing original art increase in price the same way as key comics, or is it only key story art that are increasing? I don't think they're comparable in the same way. I think key story art and key books and first appearances do add value or collectability factor to original art pieces, but above all, the image on the page and the context about the image on the page kind of still are king, at least in my opinion. Like, the image above all, and then the secondary details, behind that are still important, but I don't think they're the most key factor. But that said, I think in the last several years, like, more and more, the biggest and most popular storylines have really, really appreciated and jump-started in value. So like major or first appearances. So like major first appearances.
Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, Infinity Gauntlet. We got an Infinity Gauntlet page later to show from Infinity Gauntlet #1. All key storylines, key books, key events like this, like Kraven's Last Hunt, that go across multiple titles. They're very much appreciating, but it's a different market and it's a different approach than key comics. I don't think it quite translates exactly the same way, which Comic Book 1962 is like posing necessarily, but that's probably a whole show's worth of topic right there. But it's a great question, great call out. Tony was curious about this one. I know he was digging this one when we were following the results live and chatting back and forth. This is Astonishing Tales #2, page 14, title splash. Amazing Dr. Doom splash from Wallywood, man. Dr. Doom, Wallywood, that's an awesome combination. Frankly, I think that's an awesome price too. I mean, it's expensive, $11,750, but it's a Dr. Doom splash from 1970, 50 plus years old. Wallywood, a legendary artist, obviously more known for his work on Daredevil than other stuff, Marvel wise, but pretty damn
still
cool.
Nice piece.
Yeah,
Very
pretty
nice
damn cool in my opinion, man. I love it.
I want a Doom piece.
Love that piece. Wallywood, Dr. Doom, will run you a cool 12K. So there's that. This one, okay, so this is I kind of pulled this just because I would like to learn more about it, I guess, because I'm not an expert, but this is a Peanuts Daily. Charles Schultz, from 1961, Charlie Brown, Lucy, and Frida, $18,250. So this is just literally 1 day's worth of a comic strip from Peanuts from the early 60s, which is crazy. I don't know if Ruben's talking about the Schultz or the Dr. Doom. Probably the Dr. Doom.
I think
piece.
the Dr. Doom.
Yeah, he's talking about the Dr. Doom piece. Complete story for that would have been awesome for 3K.
Wow.
I would have done that. But yeah, I mean, that's 20 years ago. So that's, that's time machine status right there. Schultz is great. I really, really do appreciate Charlie Brown and stuff, especially from, more of the cartoon stuff and stuff that I watched when I was a little kid. I think I'm too young to really have the Peanuts strip, really affect my life in a major way, I guess. But there's a delay, Ruben, which, I'll teach you more about over time. But yeah, the wood piece. Man, this Peanut strip, I don't really follow this market that often. I know I've seen Sundays, full Sundays go for 50, 60, 70,000 more, I think. So this is just a daily. So, I don't know. It's just interesting.
It's still a nice piece. Yeah.
It's a very nice piece. Not something I'm personally ever going to be in the market for necessarily, but there are a lot of collectors. All right. This one's awesome. I wish I could afford going after this because I just think it's freaking brilliant. I mean, this to me has a fine art level quality to it. It's not just kind of that straightforward interpretation of Dream, of Sandman. No. It's kind of taking his kind of abstract visual fine art Dave McKean approach to the covers that he did, but actually doing Dream, doing Sandman. A lot of the covers that he did were not actually of the characters,
No, they were just fantastic fantasy type,
Yeah, they were these crazy mixed media, they were awesome.
Crazy,
But this is him actually doing a Dream Sandman painting. This was used as the trade paperback cover for the Seasons of Mists first edition trade paperback back in 1993. This one closed at $36,756. Beautiful piece. I think it's worth every penny of that. As much as it pains me to say that, I do think it is. It's incredible. So, yeah. That one's like a daydream piece for me, dude.
So probably the cheapest piece so far could go after was probably the Wallywood at 11,000.
Yeah, and even that would be tough, man. I would have to eat ramen noodles for 3 months. At least. Anyway, okay, so we're gonna get these next couple pieces that I pulled. They're all related because there were believe it or not, there were eight J. Scott Campbell covers alone. 8 J. Scott Campbell covers in this ComicLink auction. This one I think was probably the most striking one for obvious reasons. It's a pretty damn sexy Black Cat cover here from J. Scott Campbell. Closed at $21,251.
I was watching this one.
I'm sure you were. I think a lot of us were, but yeah, incredible. I mean, I'm not very big on J. Scott Campbell, and I'm really not very big on that Stan Lee signature in the bottom left.
There's another one.
Yeah, another Stan Lee signature. Simple Simon's definitely gonna dig that one. I
guess this must have came from one collector. Then he got all of it signed by Stan Lee.
He did, yeah. I mean, it had to have been.
These were bangers left and right. Forget about
Seriously. Ruben's gonna take the opposite standpoint, saying he doesn't like this one. I do. I like it. But look, there's certain things about this image that I'm prone to, not just as a collector, but as a man. So let's move on. All right. So here's another one, because I said the next few are related. This is ASM number 18 variant cover. You got Black Cat on there, you got Spider-Woman on there, you got Silk on there, you got Spider-Man, you got Deadpool. A lot of really awesome characters on this cover. And this one sold for more than the last one, but this one has a lot more characters on it, right? It's also got a really terrible signature on the left by Stan Lee on this one. You kind of have to rotate the image sideways to see this one, but yeah, I mean, another strong J. Scott Campbell Marvel cover result. What's up, Porter's Hide in the house? Good to see you, Scott. Congrats.
Think about it. This comic book came out in 2016. When did he sign it? Stanley signed it in 2000, end of 2016.
I mean, he had to have signed it between then and the next 2.5 years or so.
Yeah.
But anyway, more strong J. Scott Campbell results. This one, I really do like this cover.
I like this one.
Yeah, this is my favorite of the J. Scott Campbell covers that were in this auction. I actually own this variant cover in my comic book collection. It's a Midtown Comics exclusive from 2015 for Spider-Gwen #1. It has so many different images of Gwen on there, between the Polaroid shots, the Daily Bugle image, the regular Gwen Stacy in the bottom right corner, the almost full body Spider-Gwen shot focused there in the middle, and then all the multiple little Spider-Gwen heads all over the place. Kind of has a collage feel to it in a way, but $22,250. So all of these kind of went for that 21 to 22 kind of range. There were other J. Scott Campbell covers in this auction, but I didn't pull any of those because I think pulling three in a group of 30 was kind of overdoing it. But yeah, I mean, I just thought for me this is the one that I would have added to my collection if I had the chance, but I didn't have that chance, obviously. But yeah. So there's that. This one, okay, man. Let me see if I can go full screen on this. Does that work? That looks better now. All of a sudden, right?
Okay.
All right, because it's like a much more horizontal based screenshot or something. But anyway, this is Paper Girls number 28, the cover and the complete 22-page issue. So it's not just a cover, and Cliff Chang did wraparound covers for every single issue of Paper Girls. So, and I own one of them. I own the cover to Paper Girls issue 15. So you get the wraparound cover, which is technically 2 pages, and you get the complete 22-page interior. So I think this is 24 total art boards. When you tally up the math, I think this closed for $12,950, and I was trying to do the math, and I think it amounted to like $500-ish per page, right? Which is kind of reasonable, but to buy a Cliff Chang Paper Girls page in the last several years would run you anywhere between 100 to 150 for a lower end page to 400 to 500 for pages with the main characters, and then covers were kind of going in the range of like 1,200. to 1,500, 2,000 on the high end if it was a really striking image and featured, the main characters and stuff. So I think this was a pretty decent result, not like an earth-shattering result as it relates to Cliff, but I'm a big fan of Cliff's work, especially on this Paper Girls series. I own a cover and 2 interiors, and I'm pretty much always looking for stuff have been looking for stuff from this title for a while, just because I'm a big fan of the story and his artwork in it. And obviously now it's going to be an Amazon TV show. A cast has already been announced and everything. I guess it's not too late to get in on this. Cliff Chang Paper Girls art from an investment standpoint, or if you just enjoy it and want to collect it. But I could see it growing and getting higher over time, especially if that TV show pops off and becomes very popular, which I suspect it may, but that remains to be seen. What's up? We got Warlord in the house. I didn't pull any. I don't think I pulled any Greg Land comic book.
Did you have any?
There was Greg Land in the auction, but I don't think I pulled any to show on the show tonight.
I like Greg Land. I have a couple pieces of Greg Land.
Yeah, I don't mind Greg Land. I've heard some other collectors, I think it was Andy E, mention some of that Greg Land controversy on the show before, and I did not know all the backstory on it, so he filled me in a little bit on that. But I don't really want to sidetrack with that necessarily. But I don't think I pulled. There was Greg Land art in this auction, but I don't think I focused on it in my recap. Okay, so here is a Sean Murphy. Yeah, I'm trying to get this better so you can see it. Is that visible? There we go. Yeah, so here's a Sean Murphy Batman Curse of the White Knight #8 Joker cover. $18,750. Wow, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this book came out less than a year ago. This book came out less than a year ago. Sean Murphy art is just
red hot. Nice though.
Yeah, he's super talented. I really enjoy his artwork. I obviously picked up a page from this series from him. Not a cover, obviously. I don't think I can swim in those Sean Murphy cover waters anymore. They're pretty difficult. Pretty heavy stream there. But yeah, man, strong result. Great Joker cover, great background. I've been loving reading White Knight, Curse of the White Knight. Can't wait to read, whatever's next. I know that they did a offshoot with that Harley Quinn book or whatever, but he didn't write and illustrate that Harley Quinn one. That was like a connected storyline that he didn't write, but that's part of that universe. But yeah, man, the White Knight covers and the Curse of the White Knight covers and the artwork, frankly, are in my opinion, are all brilliant, and I'm a big fan of them. So speaking of which, I also pulled an interior from Curse of the White Knight just for a comp, I guess. Just for a comp, and this one's got Joker on there as well.
Right.
So that will probably bump up the price a little bit. But this is from issue #1 of Curse of the White Knight. They called it a splash. It's more of a half splash, obviously, but this one closed for $5,000, $5,866, which
more
is
an affordable end,
Yeah, I mean, relatively speaking, right, for Sean Murphy
compared to the other ones,
Yeah. So, but pretty cool result to see. Let's see here. Next up, we have this, and maybe I can try this full screen thing again. Nah. Let me go back to this. There we go. See, because I'm doing it in this window instead of the slides like we do with our artwork.
Right.
Maybe in the future I should do slides for these so that I can really go full screen with them instead of this like picture viewer thing. But whatever, this is what we got going for now. But anyway, this is a Wolverine #300 variant cover, 2 art boards, wraparound. Jeff Darrow is the artist. I mean, he draws like these kind of like almost Where's Waldo level style detailed cover images and images in general. Like I really like his pencils. and the detail that he puts into his artwork.
Yeah, I don't remember this one. That's why I'm trying to look it up right now to see what it looks like.
Oh, like you're trying to look up the variant?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know which specific variant it is. Like, if it was,
I think I found it already.
if it was an incentive variant, if it was a exclusive retail exclusive or anything like that. But it's a huge battle scene. Huge battle scene. So
it's a 1 out of 25 variant.
Okay, it was the 1 in 25 variant.
Yeah.
So yeah, key Wolverine issue,
like
variant cover, Jeff Darrow, amazing penciler, strong price, $10,250 on that one.
Yeah,
okay,
I'm looking at the cover right now. Nothing.
What's up?
I'm looking at the cover right now. It's nice, but nothing like I would have went after.
That you would have went after, yeah.
No.
All right. Well, anyway, this one's Invincible, number 107,
Wow.
Ryan Otley. This is another complete issue. So I wanted to have another complete issue.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, the reason why the price is so strong, $23,750, is that it's the cover and the 20-page issue. So obviously Invincible is hot right now. There was a lot of Ryan Otley Invincible in this ComicLink auction. There were multiple covers and stuff. There was one of the compendium covers was in there. So there was a lot of Ryan Otley Invincible artwork specifically in this auction. But this one was the complete issue, sold for almost $24,000. Not the strongest cover from the title, honestly. Like, you got Monster Girl on there, which is probably why it's good for fans. But full issue. Yeah, full issue. So you're getting a lot of artwork, and you kind of have to do that. Okay, what's my price per page kind of math to justify it, or to figure out what your investment is on it and what your potential return on it is for resale, if that's something you want to do with buying a complete issue. I've never bought a complete issue before, so I don't have any experience as a collector or a reseller with complete issues, but I am noticing them more in some of these bigger auctions, so I like to see what those results are when they do come up.
Yeah, it's like $1,200 a page.
Yeah, I mean, that seems expensive, but Invincible is very hot. I think Invincible is currently hotter than Ryan Otley is, but that combination on that title is definitely hot. So this is the ASM 25 cover from Alex Ross, an amazing painted cover. This is a cover homage or homage or whatever you want to call it to the Spectacular Spider-Man magazine #2 John Romita Sr. Painted cover, which is my personal favorite, all-time favorite Spider-Man cover of all time. So I have a CGC 9.8 of that magazine from the Silver Age era, which is one of my favorite Spider-Man books period in my comic book collection. Obviously the original Romita Sr. artwork would be impossible to get for that, but this is an incredible homage. Frankly, I think this is an awesome for the buyer. Like, I mean, you could argue oppositely, but $13,916. Alex Ross painting, published ASM cover, homaging Romita Sr.'s arguably most iconic Spider-Man cover. That's badass, So congrats to whoever snagged that one. I'm hoping it's a collector, not a dealer. No offense. But I mean, but if I see it pop up for sale, we'll find out. Yeah, I guess we'll find out. But Alex Ross, ASM, Spidey vs. Green Goblin, Romita Sr. homage cover. I love it. Okay, speaking of Alex Ross, here's another Alex Ross result. A very strong result. Spawn 301 variant cover. Of course, this is the issue that sort of broke the record for most issues, in a row by the same creator-owned issue, as far as Todd McFarlane, or creator-owned book. 301 issues, Todd McFarlane writing, of course. He didn't illustrate all the issues, but this is a pretty awesome Spawn cover by Alex Ross. I mean, $28,000 awesome. Like, I don't know, I guess it just depends on what you're into, and if if Spawn is like your thing or whatever, like I enjoy Spawn and I'm a fan of Spawn, but I'm not like the biggest fan in the world of it. It's not my my top title or character or anything like that, but strong result for sure. Okay, so here's, I alluded to it earlier, Infinity Gauntlet #1, page 17, Thanos versus Battle Silver Surfer and Drax the Destroyer. So there were 2 Infinity Gauntlet pages, Infinity Gauntlet #1 pages in this ComicLink auction. This one is more of like a battle slash, half splat, but more of a splashy page, I guess, even though it's not a splash.
Right.
It's got splashy elements and it's got a lot of battling going on. And I think this was a pretty strong result, $18,000. I didn't pull the other one. The other one only sold for like 8.6, 8.8, something like that. But it was more of a regular panel page, like 2 panels and then 3 panels and then 2 so a lot of like smaller panels and stuff, and no battling on the page at all. So quite a gap though between those 2 pages from this issue. Again, another key book where I own one of these pages, so I'm obviously going to follow the market on this from now until the end of time.
Did the other page have Thanos in it?
The other page had Thanos in it, but the image of Thanos was much smaller. But it was, but it also had Lady Death on it, like Thanos and Death on it, but no battling. So no Silver Surfer, no Drax, no battle page, no battle elements to it. Scott's weighing in saying he personally thinks these people are nuts. We make much more sensible and economical. I mean, that's subjective, dude. I mean, I don't want to say these people are nuts. I disagree with that, I guess. Personally, I mean, I think they're pretty lucky or unfortunate, to be spending big bucks on things that aren't necessities. But
especially have $18,000 to $20,000 to throw around, That's,
but I mean, look, I mean.
Gonna save up for that.
Yeah, like I'm never gonna knock anybody for spending on what they want to spend on. Honestly, like that's just not my style. Like, I think there's great artwork to be had at all price points. So this, for somebody in a different economic class, this is the same as buying a $200 page. It's just a matter of how much money do they have total to put into the hobby, right? Like, it's all relative, and we don't know exactly the situation of some of these buyers. Or what their end game is, pun intended, I suppose, what their end game is with some of this stuff. But that's my point, right? Who exactly is these people and we? Like it's not really as simple as that in my opinion. There's a lot more context to that than just kind of making a broad generalization about it. But you're welcome. Everybody's entitled to their opinion on that, so I'm not going to knock your opinion, but I got to respond with mine as well. Okay, next up, this one's pretty cool because this is one of my favorite Batman stories. Batman: The Long Halloween #1, page 43. Tim Sale.
Middle panel is awesome.
Tim Sale. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of blacks. It's a lot of ink. Awesome. Yeah, it's. I mean, the majority of this art is like ink, right? Ink and negative space. It's a very inky and negative space page. Pretty strong price, $8,000, almost $9,000 on this. But this is an amazing story that Jeff Loeb wrote and Tim Sale illustrated. This one's got shadows of Batman and Harvey Dent Two-Face on it. But I mean, strong result, I think, for the artwork on the page.
Right.
Right, exactly. Lots of ink, but it is all silhouette. It's a cool page. I would love a Tim Sale Batman page, especially a Long Halloween page from that run at some point in my collection, because it is one of my favorite Batman storylines, and it's not quite as out of reach as like Frank Miller Dark Knight or David Mazzucchelli Year One, if any of that stuff ever were to materialize. But yeah, pretty cool. And I had to show it just because it's one of my favorite Batman stories. Nice. Speaking of another one of my favorite Batman stories, and what I think was possibly a steal, and I was bidding on this. As you can see in red over here on the right, it said you have been outbid. But Here,
It
let me
was
try to.
$3,444, right?
Yeah, I mean, Bernie Wrightson published Batman page, $3,544. Like,
Yeah.
pretty reasonable. Like, I mean,
Yes.
obviously the majority of the page is not Batman, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you do have Batman on there, and you do have kind of the villain of the storyline. So, and it's all Bernie Wrightson on the page, all his art, 65 bidders. I think I bid 3K and I lost at 35.44. So in hindsight, maybe I should have been a little more aggressive on this, but I'm kind of glad I lost too, because sometimes you're glad you lose, just because you're saving yourself the
Yeah.
the expenditure, right?
When you're in the moment, you want to bid it up, but then it's like, oh damn! Thank God it
Yeah, I
didn't
mean,
work out.
sometimes you get lost in like the passion of
Yeah.
how much you like the story or the art or
Right.
the artist. But yeah, I mean, pretty cool nonetheless. Wanted to show that real quick. Okay, we got a few more, almost done. Submariner illustration here from Bill Everett, circa estimated 1960s. I mean, obviously, Bill Everett and the Submariner are pretty synonymous with each other from those earlier Subby Namor eras, and it's a pretty cool sketch. For me, I'm not the biggest Namor guy. I'm not the biggest, it's not my top character or anything, so nothing I would be kind of interested in. But Bill Everett, fantastic artist, and this is the character that he's pretty much most known for. So $3,555 is what this illustration is sold for. Ruben's saying that he used to buy and sell this quality page from this series for only $400 around 2007. So he's talking about the Wrightson page right here, which sold for $3,544. So that's good information. I wish I could have snagged it for $400 in 2007, but I was too busy. What was I doing? I was too busy making almost no money whatsoever. So trying to scrape together a living back then. Okay, we also got my buddy Arsenio here, the art chemist. Good to see you, man. Thank you for popping in here. We're almost at the end of this thing. This has been a marathon. I apologize for the length. So this is Dave Stevens, and I thought this one kind of, this one was a little bit of a surprise, man. To me, as far as the price, a Betty Page illustration from 2000. Dave Stevens. I mean, Dave Stevens' artwork is very hard to obtain and very expensive, usually on the open market. $3,601 seems pretty reasonable to me. I don't know. What about you?
I don't know what his regular work goes for. I mean, it's not a published page, so
yeah, that is true. It's I mean, if it was a published piece in some capacity, I would expect it to go for way more. It's an unpublished illustration. It's Betty Page, so a little bit more of a niche group of collectors or characters.
Kind of like Vampirella.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing this went to a Dave Stevens collector specifically, or maybe a Betty Page collector specifically, but
Gorilla Todd.
Yeah, but who knows, man? But I thought it was worth showing. I thought it was reasonable. But yeah, there is a missing arm to both Arsenio and Ruben's points. It is unfinished, so that probably is, affecting the price. Although I kind of enjoy the unfinished nature of the piece. I kind of enjoy that negative, because all these negative space covers are so popular all of a sudden. This is almost like a unintentional negative space cover by Dave Stevens. But anyway, cool to see that. All right, and then next up we have the Psylocke illustration by Bruce Timm. I always enjoy seeing Bruce Timm draw female characters, and I especially, for obvious reasons, but I especially enjoy seeing him draw Marvel female characters because he's not really known for them, Like I've seen pretty nice fully colored illustrations of him drawing Black Cat, Mary Jane, Psylocke here, for example, and I really love them. when I see them. Obviously, I think that more people would expect to see, Harley Quinn, Batgirl, that kind of stuff, out of Bruce Timm, because he's more associated with that and DC and Batman the Animated Series and all that. But pretty nice one here with Psylocke, $4,400. Not a huge piece, a 7-inch by 10.5-inch piece, but $4,400 nonetheless on that. We only 2 pieces left, and then we can call it a wrap. Uncanny X-Men number 359 cover, 1998. Really, really nice Rogue cover here from Chris Bachalo, inked by Tim Townsend over Bachalo. It's an Uncanny X-Men core title cover page. $13,750 with 84 bidders. Late 90s X-Men. Looks like 90s X-Men art is just, obviously on fire. And this one almost cost you $14K. Well, it will cost you $14K once all the additional buyer's premium fees and taxes and shipping are all factored in or whatever. But there you go. I thought that was an interesting one. And then finally, we'll wrap with something that we talked about earlier, Mark Bagley and Spider-Man. So this show is coming around full circle, and we're wrapping with this ASM 352 cover. It's a cover, right? So it's not a splash like that Larson was. From 1991, Randy Emberlin inked over Mark Bagley on this. I love this cover. This is one of the covers that I think is most memorable from Bagley's run on ASM. For me, I really, really like it. I enjoy the web swinging part of it, and just the pose, the Spidey pose on it, the trade dress, everything. It's a great cover. $32,000 is where this one landed at the end of the day here. So that's what a Mark Bagley ASM cover in the prime era of his run costs now. And I am not happy about that. I'm happy. I'm happy in some ways that Mark Bagley's art is being more appreciated. It does kind of have a lack of background. I would agree with that. Ruben, good point. But still cool, man. Still really cool. I'm definitely a little jealous of this one. I like Bagley's Spider-Man work, especially on Ultimate Spider-Man, because it's a little bit more attainable. But anyway, this was a great cover, great result, I thought, for what it is. And that is the ComicLink Spring Featured Auction coverage for this program tonight. Like I said, this auction had so many great pieces in it. Obviously, we do not have time to cover the rest of the 60 plus results that I saved for my future archives or records. There was just that much good art in it. So, kudos to ComicLink for bringing out some amazing stuff. Really looking forward to whatever their next. So if that was spring, I guess summer would be their next one, right? I told you after I looked at that book and I saw every single thing. I want that. Like it was times like 3 or 4 pieces. Dude, banger page after banger page, just tons of good stuff. So shout out to them, good stuff. And we'll be back with the auction scene in 2 weeks' times episode. I believe by then Heritage's signature auction will be wrapped up, so we'll be able to talk a little bit about the big boy pieces in that and stuff like that, which are probably going to be mind-blowing. But I still have to flip through the catalog. I have it somewhere here on the shelf. That came in today, so I was excited. I was like, oh man, I got my Heritage catalog, all right, quickly before we say goodnight, great auction recap, Tony. Why? Perfect joke right there. Clutch. Tony is like, he says a lot with few words. You know, he's like Silent Bob. I'm like Jay. You know, like that's kind of
Makes
our
sense.
rapport here a little bit. No, I'm totally messing. So real quick before you say goodnight, I wanted to promote the upcoming art show schedule on the Comic Books NYC channel. This Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern, we have the 32nd episode of the regular old school original art hour show. So that's making a comeback.
Thank you, Ruben.
It's been a while since I've done a one-on-one collector interview, so I'll be a little rusty. So just bear with me, everybody. But that's going to be a good one. That's my friend Raghav. He has a YouTube channel called Comic Art Talk. He's been doing YouTube content about comic art for a few years, like, you know, underrated channel, I might say. So try to go find his channel and sub him up, or just come to my channel on Thursday night, 10 p.m. and hang out with us while he shares his artwork. He's got a lot of really cool Jim Lee pieces. I can tell you that. So that's what I'm going to say is
I gotta watch.
Is the teaser for that. So after that, like I said, in 2 weeks' time, we'll have episode 5 of this show. Just our normal show. You know, the news, the show and tell for me and Tony, and the auction scene, where we're likely going to be talking about Heritage's signature auction taking place pretty soon here. And then on Sunday, the 27th at 11 a.m., I forgot to write that in there, so I'm going to do that real quick. 11 a.m. Eastern. All right, let's do this again. There we go. Okay, on Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern, we're going to have an original art hour, I guess, special interview. Tony's going to join me, and we're going to be interviewing a new friend of mine, I guess, or a relatively new friend of mine, comic artist Ario Anindito, who is a working Marvel comics artist today across, you know, a few different titles. Most primarily known now for doing Star Wars: The High Republic book with Cavan Scott as the writer, which is a comic that I'm really, really enjoying.
What's up, Biggie?
I was lucky enough to pick up some published artwork from him from the Star Wars High Republic series. He represents himself, so it was just a direct deal between me and the artist, which was awesome. Always the best way to go if you can make it happen. So I'll be unveiling that page. Plus he also drew me an additional piece, like out of the kindness of his heart, which also came out awesome. So I'll be sharing both of those on the show, and we'll be talking with him about what it's like to be working in comics today as an interior artist, working on Star Wars comics and other comics. So I encourage you guys to please join us. He is based in like Bangkok, like overseas, like, you know, Asia. So that's why the show's at 11 a.m. Eastern. It's on a Sunday. It's a very abnormal time for us. But hopefully some of you guys are going to come out and tune in for that interview. And if you guys have questions, like if you can't make that time, try to send me some questions in advance that I can ask them if you're curious. But I wanted to promote that. Really, really nice guy. Met him at New York Comic Con back in 2019. And of course, you know, then everything with COVID happened. So I have not really, you know, had the chance to actually hang out with him in person again since then. But anyway, that's the schedule, guys. Tony's the Ed McMahon, my Johnny Carson. He speaks with his eyes. Exactly. Yeah, you guys are on fire tonight, dude.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, House, till the end. Appreciate you, brother. We got Biggie Shack in the house. Thank you, brother. We catch the rewind. This is going to be probably the longest episode of the show once it uploads on the rewind. So I'm sorry about the long show, but I hope some people watch the replay. What's up, Arsenio? I'm thinking about it. Terrific Con is at the end of July, I believe. The end of July up in Connecticut. I think it's still at the Mohegan Sun, like it usually is, I believe. I've been talking to another friend in the community about possibly going up there, and he'd be driving. So if you're going, or if you're interested in going, why don't you hit me up on Instagram and we'll sidebar about that, brother. So Ruben saying good art reps usually provide a good service, and well, I know why he's saying that, and I don't disagree. I'm just saying, as a collector, if given the opportunity to buy artwork directly from the artist and they don't have a rep, all that money is going to the artist. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? And you can get a good price typically. But that said, good art reps enhance the process quite a bit. Ruben being one of those guys. Ruben represents Mike Perkins. If anybody didn't know.
Really?
Yeah.
I love Mike Perkins.
Amazing artist. I got my Mike Perkins piece in from Ruben just today. I need to unbox it. I can't wait. It's a sick Professor X piece. It's not a published piece, but it's an incredible Mike Perkins Professor X piece. Yeah, 2 long shows in a row for me. But we're going to call that a night, guys. Sorry for being on so late. It's almost midnight Eastern here. Hopefully you guys, some of you catch your rewind. Please hit the thumbs up button. Now that there's only 5 people left here watching the show, I'm saying hit the thumbs up button, probably for the first time during the show, because I suck. And I should remember to say that when people are actually watching. But what are you going to do? Tony, thanks again. Another great night. Had a blast hanging out with you, sharing art, talking about these auction results. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out live in the chat. We appreciate y'all. We won't be back on Thursday. I'll be back with Raghav, Comic Art Talk, but we will be back, me and Tony, in 2 weeks. And for that special interview, like I said, I'm gonna definitely unveil that Perkins piece probably in that 2 weeks from now show. So
nice.
So that's gonna be fun. All right, guys, have a great night. Stick around for the outro, or don't stick around for the outro. It's late. Get some sleep. Peace.
Later.
Where do I begin? I see the hate, they don't wanna see me win. Bank deposits, I got more coming in. Top down, throw the money in the wind. I don't want it all. Heard he scammer, had to switch up the accounts. Moving paper, gotta call it my account. It's all in, I can have it coming out. Been through the struggle, I can see another drought. Yeah, it's not a purse, it's a merge. 6 figures was a gold, now it's 9 or a hearse. Put it work. Used to pull up, not swerve. No time for the snakes, time to put them in the dirt. That's word. I gotta get it, it's in my DNA. You only see the highlights, don't know what it takes. Last year stressing, got no sleep. Now I'm right between the courts, out of nosebleed. I see the hate, they don't wanna see me win. Bank deposits, I got more coming in.